Right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining in, especially when it's day 3, the very last day for Future Fest. And I think we are coming up to our very last segment, or one of the very last segments. And today I'm joined by, or with, Sandeep. He is founder of Polygon. I'm sure you must have heard about that. And yeah, today what we're going to be talking about is Polygon 2.0 and its vision for 2024, right? Because when we look back to the 2023 year, we saw the launch of Polygon ZK EVM mainnet. We also saw a lot of CDK chains emerge within the ecosystem, right? So clearly there's a lot happening, builders' vibes are on, but it also gives us a lot of things to unpack here. So welcome, Sandeep. How's it going?
Yeah, going good, going good. I was telling Krinza backstage that my sister just delivered her first baby, so I had to come to the hospital, and I'm taking this call from the hospital itself. So yeah, everybody is happy. It's a very good moment. And I think this is the first time I am in front of Pakistani audience, and I actually live in Dubai. I have a lot of friends which are originally from Pakistan, but it's great to be presenting in front of the Pakistani audience first time.
Yeah, and I think that gives us the founder vibes, and that gives, I mean, it clearly shows your commitment towards the ecosystem, right? Anyways, congratulations to you, to your family. I think it's a great news. Um, but I think let's move on, just because I know that you have to run. It's a family occasion, so let's get into Polygon 2.0 itself, right, and its vision. Now, I think we lost the internet, but I will be back soon.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
I think I couldn't hear you, Krinza, for last 30 seconds.
Awesome. Yeah, so I was talking about Polygon 2.0's vision, and I think there's a lot of moving parts here, right? There's a lot happening in the ecosystem. So why not we start with ZK EVM that launched the mainnet itself, right? I guess for the audience who might not have full-length information or knowledge about rollups itself, right? I wanna ask you, do you think that ZK rollups are game changers? If so, how, compared to like all the other scaling solutions that we have, such as, say, optimistic rollups, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because I think that is a very technical topic. I see that the audience here might not be like even that deep into blockchains, but I'll just give a 1 minute background of blockchains. Like with blockchains, essentially what everyone is trying to create is this trust-free or trust-minimized internet. Like what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is that today when you talk about, I'll give a very simple example of let's say bank and Facebook. Okay, these two things, because most of the people have used a bank and most of the people have used Facebook, so we can imagine that. So today when you go onto your Facebook or Instagram, like the feed that you are seeing, the kind of content that they are showing you is completely determined by what Facebook wants to show you, what Instagram wants to show you, right? And they can actually, it has been shown that in American elections last time, and in 2015 also, it was very well proven by multiple research agencies that these social media platforms change your opinion. So you basically are trusting these companies, which are like Facebook and Instagram and many other companies, right, YouTube and all that, who can formulate, who have the power to formulate your opinion. Same thing in the internet. Like when we talk about banks, if we see, like we go to our online bank and we see that, okay, I have $10,000 in my bank account, but do you really have that $10,000 in your bank account? Like in our part of the subcontinent, where most of the banks are nationalized, we don't feel this. But if you go to US, it's very very normal that you have your life saving in a bank, and suddenly one day the bank says that they don't have that money and they are going bankrupt and your life saving are lost. So all I'm trying to tell you is the current level, the current internet that we have, where you go to social media. We are even talking, like right now I'm talking on Google Meet, right? Or you talk on Zoom. This is also owned by a company. And what that company is doing with the data, that company might be changing my voice, or that can even change my face and start delivering a hate speech right now to you, right? So we always have to trust a third party. So blockchains are essentially about trustless, creating a trustless society where, because we are spending so much time in these digital worlds, at least the digital worlds can be less trustless, we can say trust free, so that you are not trusting that like a middle party or a company in between is changing everything, or is controlling your money, or is controlling your opinion and all that. It's about creating more freedom. So that's where blockchains are. And this blockchain was invented in 2018 with Bitcoin. And but the problem was that you can create trust-free blockchains, trust-free digital world, like with what's possible with Bitcoin. But it's very hard to do it at scale. Like for example, even today, I cannot create a Facebook or an Instagram type experience for you on blockchains. So all of like us, people like us, companies like Polygon, they are trying to scale blockchains. And Polygon ZK EVM is that, like one kind of, you can imagine that it's kind of a new server or new blockchain where people can actually write more code and it runs faster, and they can build applications. But it's a long journey to take it to the scale of internet that where it is today.
That's a really great explanation, and I think I really love how you are catering your responses to the audience, and I want to cater to the audience that understands. I mean, I wanted to get into technicalities, but let's move on or move away from the Polygon 2.0 for a second.
Yeah.
Then I think one of the things that I wanted to get into is, so Electric Capital recently released a developer report, right? And it clearly shows that, because we have a lot of software engineers here, if not Web3 developers, but we have also a good part of audiences who are interested in learning or getting started in Web3. So that report clearly shows that Polygon has been developers' first choice when they get into Web3, right? And I'm curious, like in your opinion, what do you think, what makes Polygon apart and makes it so appealing for developers that when they decide to join Web3, Polygon is their soft launch into the entire development stack?
Yeah, I think it's also comes from the Ethereum stack that we built on, and Ethereum is that base blockchain, which again for the audience, like Bitcoin is a kind of one. Everybody has heard of Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin is more like currency. Ethereum is more like a decentralized computer. So we all are building these applications on top of this global computer that is Ethereum. So when developers come into the space, they always look at Ethereum, they want to explore Ethereum, and then Polygon is the most accessible way for them to explore and build their applications on. I also know quite a few applications in Pakistan who are building on Polygon, and they have a large number of user base in Pakistan. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Especially cricket.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting the name of the application, but they are actually basically, you can watch cricket matches and earn from watching ads and things like that. But maybe somebody remembers the name. I don't remember the name of the application.
I'll hunt them down. Right. Also, I think I want to go back to the inception of Polygon, right? I think Polygon has evolved so much once it was built. I want to understand what kind of problem you were solving for when you just launched Polygon, right, for developers. And what kind of problem developers are facing right now that so much, so much research and development resources are being put within a Polygon team? Like what kind of problems you were solving before and what you have achieved and like what's next?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, this is actually a very deep question that you asked. I always think from my point of view that what exactly when I was starting, I was also, and before that time I was building some applications, but I realized that this whole trustless infrastructure was not ready. So I thought of building this infrastructure. But from day zero, my focus has been to build this infrastructure which can go to internet level scale. Like it should have the best user experience, the way we have the user experience in the Web 2 applications today. Plus, it should also have the scalability of internet, like where people can actually launch as many applications, as many mobile apps they want to launch, websites they want to launch, and they can experiment on top of that. So building for the global level scale, like planetary scale blockchain, has been my goal from day zero. And all this research that you see, like, for example, in ZK, we believe that zero knowledge technology is that technology which can bring the scale to blockchains. And that's why we have invested, like last year, or 2021 to 2022, we invested like almost like $1 billion in acquiring the best talent across the space. Even now, many great teams are working with us. I think Fluent is also one of them, who's building with us and all that. And yeah, we expect to continue to build this technology for internet scale. That's the simple goal.
And I think I want to take
Simple
this,
but big goal.
yeah, but I think I want to take this opportunity to say one thing. So what I have admired about Polygon so far is that I guess you guys have crafted the art of being relevant in this space, right? And I'm not talking about in terms of like biz dev initiatives or narrative building, but also in terms of research and development that keeps you in the game and keeps your technology relevant to all sorts of, I would say, all sorts of problems that developers might be looking for, or solutions developers might be looking for. So you have built this one-stop shop that, yeah, I guess it's like hard to ignore in terms of like.
No, you are right. You are right in the sense, and that's the name of the game in this one, is because uh, the mission is to build that blockchains for the internet level scale, right? And but the problem is that this industry is so fast moving that if you lose sight of, like, you have to optimize both the short and middle term plus the long term. Like if you don't do the things like ZK which are relevant in the long run, then in the long run you are irrelevant, right? But if you do too much long term stuff and only focus on that, and become irrelevant, as you said, like use the right word, relevant. If you become irrelevant in the current scope and then no developer is using it, then your momentum dies. And so it's one of the hardest industries. Like I always say that being a crypto entrepreneur is probably the one of the hardest jobs in this world, because you have to manage both, because it's hyper financialization. There is only one reward. The reward is that this is very liquid and your tokens come into the market and all that. But except that reward, everything is problematic. But that's what I think, that liquidity, early liquidity, getting a lot of brilliant minds into the space. And yeah, the space moving forward, space keeps moving forward.
Yeah. So I think we have seen a lot of developer tooling come from Polygon, and one of the most used right now, like one of the things that people are focusing on, is the chain development kit. I want to understand like what problem or what solution that offers to developers. Like what was the problem statement and like what it solves for a lot of teams or projects?
Yeah. Yeah, see, again, like it comes back to my, like, as I said, the mission is to create an internet level scale for blockchains. Like when today you are building a startup, you don't go and build your website on somebody's shared computer, right? You go to AWS or you go to some data center, you rent out the server space for yourself and you create your own website. But in blockchains today, what happens is that you always go on a public blockchain. Let's say it is Ethereum, let's say it's Polygon POS, it's Arbitrum, like different blockchains are there. Even Solana is there, right? But you go to there and you are actually a part of a shared server. So you are hosting your application on a shared server. Problem there is that on that shared server, on that particular day, on a particular day, if there is something going on, and and you have a lot of traffic on some other application, your application is also down. So that's why, like, the developers need dedicated capacity for their applications. And Polygon CDK provides them this benefit where they can create their own blockchains, right? And like, for example, Fluent, you guys are building the ZK Wasm, right? We have ZK EVM, this is basically virtual machines. The developers will understand. Like with EVM, you can build with Solidity programming language. With Wasm, you can use other programming languages. But you can basically, these are VMs for you to create your different VMs, your different style of coding. You build your business logic and you launch your application. But the CDK provides you your dedicated blockchain instead of you being on a public blockchain and where you are determined by others' capacity. Yeah.
So if everyone starts building their own blockchain, let's say using CDKs, on a eye view level, I think it seems like all of these ecosystems would be scattered within Polygon. So are there any plans to like make things work or unite them into like one thing?
Exactly. No, that's the perfect question. Is because you have the CDK. Like Polygon is built of two things. One is the CDK, which we have already launched. You can launch as many chains, and you rightly said that the liquidity and the users get fragmented. And then we have the aggregation layer, which aggregates these blockchains together. So they all feel like one single blockchain, but each of the blockchains have their own capacity, right? So that is the core idea of Polygon. CDK plus aggregation layer. We have recently announced about our aggregation layer going live in February. So the first version of the aggregation layer will be live. Hopefully, when right now it connects only EVM, ZK EVMs. In future, it will be able to connect multiple different kind of virtual machines. Hopefully like Fluent, Near protocol is building a WASM, Hyper Oracle. There's so many other kind of VMs being built.
Nice. So you mentioned liquidity, and this would be my last question, I promise. I know, so Polygon or Matic token would be upgraded to Pol token, right? So just because, I mean, there are a lot of different segments of audience right now. We have developers, we have users, we must have token holders as well. I want to understand, like, what would this upgrade look like for all these different stakeholders, like for users, for developers, for validators, like all these stakeholders? I think we are back. Did you hear my question? Or
No, I lost your last
okay,
second,
so
last 10 seconds of your question.
I wanted to ask, so when Matic would be upgraded to Pol token, how would it impact the token holders or users or the developers itself? Like, is there going to be a different journey or something?
No. That's one of the key goals from our side is it does not impact. It's just a technical upgrade for the users, holders, and all that. Like you just have to. For most of the holders who are already on exchanges, they won't even know. It will just get changed in the background. Exchanges will change it. If you are using your personal wallet, then you will have a simple UI somewhere. You can use your ledger to convert it into Pol. But it's actually for the users it should not impact. For the developers also it should have zero impact. The only thing that we are working on is, in fact, this adds a lot of more utility to the Pol token. So in terms of the user experience and where all Pol can be used. Currently it can only be used to stake in one chain. We want like this. Now Polygon is becoming multi-chain, so this Pol token will be able to be staked in multiple chains. You can run multiple kind of services later on. You can run even Oracle services. You can run different kind of services with this staking service with this new Pol token. So we call it like hyper productive token, right? Like, so Bitcoin is like one kind of token. You cannot use Bitcoin on the network. Ethereum, you can stake the the Ethereum token in the network and earn some yields. Here you can not only stake the token in the network and earn the base yield, but you can also provide various different kind of services which can make you even more yield for the token holders. All you need to do is delegate to those service providers, and they will be able to in future give you better yields by providing different services to other people.
Awesome. I guess we can't wait to see all of these things happen. I know we missed a lot of things, but maybe we can host you some other time as well. Again, congratulations, and I think you are doing a great job in setting an example of being a founder in Web3. So always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sandeep.
Thanks everyone for inviting
Bye.
me. Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.